us away, 'cause we've seen the light for better days. If you don't believe me, then that's okay. I believe in you anyways. Pull back the blinds, read between the lines. If you search deep, you will find the truth. They will come and try to divide us, disinformation to start and scrutinize us. But they got men on
Mic check, 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2.
We've awakened. Step back and ask who controls the information. Think for yourself and let's start participation. Take your hand off snooze. We've awakened. We've awakened. We've awakened. We're pulling off the covers. We've opened our eyes. We see each other and we realize that we're not alone in this fight. So we must unite. Can you believe how far we've come? Don't let the darkness overrun what we've accomplished, what we've begun. Don't turn and run. Pull back the blinds, read between the lines. If you search deep, you will find the truth. They will come and try to divide us, disinformation to start and scrutinize us. But they got nothing on us, 'cause we've awakened. We've awakened. We've awakened. Step back and ask who controls the information. Think for yourself and let's start participation. Take your hand off snooze. We've awakened. We've awakened. We've awakened. We've awakened. So keep your hand off snooze. We've awakened. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing can stop. Yeah, yeah, nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing can stop. I can see people waking from their dreams. Like a bite on their neck, their body rejects. Soul snatching nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing can stop. Yeah, nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing can stop. Yeah, nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing can stop. Yeah, nothing can stop what's coming.
Hello, friends. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone's not too stressed regarding the purge of 2021 of conservative voices. I got a couple points I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to pull up my notes, make sure I stay on topic, and kind of make this short today. There's three main points I really want to talk about. It is the demoralization of the Trump supporters, as they like to call them, but the conservative coalitions that exist. They're currently being demoralized and being grouped in with a bunch of people who don't represent the whole of the conservative movement, and we need to make it clear that we are not associated or part of these other people without causing more division. Yeah, it should be no longer echoing now. I had the music playing on my end. You let me know if we're 5x5, Ninja. That'd be great. So the big points are demoralization and division of the combination of GOP and MAGA people. And this leads us to what is the big tech censorship among the conservative voices and conservative values. So just remember, don't let the fake news cause division. Divided, you are weak. Learn to recognize division tactics. It's key. It's been key. A lot of people miss it and get too caught up in the hype and let themselves be divided. I'm going to hit record. Sorry, guys. I accidentally forgot to hit record so I could upload this to Torah since they're having issues today. And then I also want to read this. It's part of the Talking Points intro. Terrorism is a psychological warfare. Terrorists try to manipulate us and change our behavior by creating fear, uncertainty, and division in society. And this is very relevant to our current climate. They just keep pushing these narratives of fear and uncertainty and division within our society between 25th Amendment, impeaching Trump, saying that he caused an insurrection with his words, which is not true, according to myself, by listening to the speech he made there. And then one more reminder before we really get into this. This is a quote from Sergeant B. It says, "If the press was still a free press, would they all say the same thing? A free press is full of dissent and revolutionary findings. There are no parrots in a free press. Freedom died when journalism died, and the press sang with one voice. Me and you, we're the voices of dissent, guys. We need to make our voices heard. We need to band together now more than ever to make sure that we can create the world we want. And then without further ado, we're going to really get into this. I'm here talking to you guys on mute. Okay, sorry about that, fellas. What I was saying was I want to start off with demoralization because it really leads into the other parts of division and the deplatforming that is happening to all these conservative voices and really ripping the right in half. The left, I'm using their terms, right and left, the left is pushing these to become more and more important, and to really strengthen the division that we're causing ourselves. So the key is to not divide ourselves with the small differences we have as conservatives. So I really think we should work together to really make our voices heard. A lot of us have been demoralized by them constantly portraying the narrative that Trump has lost, that they're going to enact the 25th Amendment, they're going to impeach him. All these things are to demoralize the right and make us feel that everything we fought for the past 4 years is null and void, which it's not. The changes that Donald J. Trump made to politics in general will be felt for generations to come. He woke up a whole generation to the idea that we have the power and that we have simply forgot how to use it. And this is very key to understanding how they control us. And they keep perpetuating this narrative of he lost, he lost, he lost, he lost, which slowly gives the people who were diehard Trump supporters a way to get out. And it's just continuing to divide us. And I want to focus on the division that is created, because we are not divided. You remember when this all started back in 2015, right before Trump got elected, with Shia LaBeouf? He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Most of the people here probably remember this, but we've gone full circle in the narrative that they are putting out to the greater world and perpetuating on the mainstream media and the TV. And the only way to fight back is to get involved. Get involved locally. Get involved on the state level. Get involved on the federal level. If you don't think you're qualified to run, look at candidates like AOC. Look at Ilhan Omar. Those people aren't qualified either. But they've decided that they care enough to do it. So rather than condemning these people as leftists, why don't we take a little bit of hat tip from them and be like, oh, this is something that regular people could do. Regular people have always run our government until the last about 40 years when people stopped retiring and made government work their careers rather than a political service that it used to be. So it's really important that we don't get discouraged ourselves, because that is what the mainstream media is pushing. It's what the left is pushing, is that our whole side is divided, we're not united, and that Trump lost, so we have no hope anymore, which is all untrue. This movement, this support behind Trump is the people's movement. It's not the Trump movement. It was all about restoring power to the people. And the way this starts is by us getting our voice back. This is a big part of what ABCU wants. They want to put your voice back into the media, want to give you an outlet to share your thoughts and ideas regarding politics, world news, you name it. You could talk about it on ABCU. Send us an email with your articles. Send us a post on 8kun.top. There's lots of ways to get involved. Everyone has their own specialties, and, the whole key right now is do not give up. And then the other thing is, if Biden gets inaugurated on the 20th, which seems to be the case currently based on the Electoral College voting, do we have a way to fight back regarding the fraudulent election if the fraud did take place? There are ways that we could fight back. Legally, through the legal system. If you've had damages, you could seek remedy via the court. So these are all things that we need to look into as average citizens and see if there's something we could do or get involved into our legislator and pass laws so that this can't happen again. It's very important that we do our part to stop this from happening ever again to our next presidents, our children's next presidents. Because if, and I think it was, this election was stolen, that's the end of our democracy. That's the end of our republic. That's the end of your voice in government. And then to go on to the demoralization some more, there's a lot of people in here who believe in the Q movement, who follow Q pretty religiously. I don't know if that's the best word, but they follow what he has said and what has been said as fact. And just remember that they want to use Q to make us all look bad. Q told us a long time ago to stop using Q and Q references, that the information is what is important, not the messenger. So continue fighting, continue spreading the message, but we need to distance ourselves from the letter Q, as the mainstream media has turned it into a terrorist organization or something similar by the narrative they're putting out. And then this leads us into the deplatforming that has happened. I covered a bit of the division, a bit of the demoralization. I'm trying to go through this real quick. That way, people could really watch this and share it and get it out and be able to consume it in a timely fashion. So I'm just going to move on to the deplatforming and kind of talk about how it affects all of us and how we can fight back via the deplatforming and the attacks on conservative voices. Step one, create your own networks if you have the ability. If you're someone like Dan Bongino, who, has the influence, the power, the connections to create something like Parler, even though Parler wasn't my favorite app and they violated your privacy from the time you went in, he tried. And now he's shut down. So, moving on, Parler's probably out of the question now. I doubt they'll be able to get back up and get service and get people to get back on their platform now that people have moved on to platforms such as Gab and other similar platforms that offer the similar features to a Twitter. So I've got a list of a bunch of different. Let's get this screen share back up. We'll start with comms. This here that you're looking at right here is Jammy. Jammy is how I say it. I'm not sure how the developers want it said or anything like that. But Jammy is kind of like a Zoom clone. I recommend you use it. It's directly peer-to-peer. There's no middleman servers. There's no one to intercept your messages. You have a fully encrypted, if you want, back and forth chat between you and your peer-to-peer connection directly. I was going to run a demo for you here, but I can't get it to screen share appropriately with my Jammy software, and I didn't really want to troubleshoot it today, but I recommend everyone look into it. The description's in the link below, and just give me 1 second. Yeah, the description's in the link below. You could find it. It'll be jammy.net, I believe, is the website. Go ahead and check it out. It's peer-to-peer. There's no middlemen. There's no one to intercept your messages. There's no one to tell you that they're going to delete your account. You are the full owner of your account. You are fully in control. I recommend you guys look into it. Replace Zoom. Quit having Chinese spyware. Quit using Google Hangouts. Quit using other services that abuse your personal privacy. This is going to be very important going forward as the tech oligarchs decide who gets to speak and who doesn't. I recommend everyone learn about Richard Stallman and the GNU and what the GNU movement is all about, and try to use open source applications whenever possible. They're vetted by many users who are knowledgeable on IT and security, who regularly check for each software update to see if it is still respecting the GNU or Libra software foundation rules and regulations. So it's something I recommend everyone look into and get off Zoom. It gives you the most amount of privacy and the most amount of control over your account. I don't think they have a quick video, but we're going to scroll through it. It's free. There's a limited amount of data. It's based on your data. You control it. It's 100% private. There's 0 ads. It's compatible across all devices: Linux, Android, Android TV, Windows, Mac, iOS. It is fast as could be. The only downside is if the user is not online, you cannot contact them, due to the fact that it's peer-to-peer and there's no middle server to catch the message and then send it when they're online. So it's 100% anonymous. Only people who know your account name can contact you. You can communicate jammy even if you're not on the internet, as long as you have a connection. No personal information is needed to create an account. Just download it. You get a QR code, share it with your friends privately. I recommend you do it in person if possible, or send it over a secure messaging platform. That way you don't compromise your operational security by trying to communicate with others in a secure manner. Moving on to away from comms and more towards social media, the next things I would look to replace Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, things like that would be services like 8kun.top, which is being DDoS extremely, and their CDN is currently under attack. So it's been having a lot of issues, but I recommend you check it out at 8kun.top. It's a very great service provided by Is It Wet Yet and our good friend Jim Watkins, and it's the last bastion of free speech. You know, there's not a lot of places where you could speak freely and honestly, and this is why they're trying to shut it off. And then there's a new kid on town. It's called Mastodon. It seems to work very similarly to Twitter, but it's completely decentralized. There's no central server. It's run by people like me and you who set up servers to be a middle network. I'm not going to get real technical with you guys, but it's fully decentralized. There's almost millions of people on it now. You could create your own communities that are community owned, ad free. I'm working on setting up an abcu.social via Mastodon. That way we could communicate directly on there. It'll be in the ownership of us, the controllers of ABCU, rather than the big tech oligarchs who want all the control and want to see everything we discuss and violate all of our First 10 Amendment rights. On from there, there's Gab. Most of you probably know about Gab, but this seems to be the problem every time I come here. They seem to be under maintenance. I have a Gab account. You can find me at Babyfist on Gab. ABCU does not have a Gab account currently. Then there is Pilled.net. If you aren't aware what Pilled.net is, I recommend you check it out. It seems to work pretty well. This is some friends of ours who got this going. You could live stream, you could post content regarding, you could post videos, you could post messages. It's kind of like a hybrid between Reddit and Twitter is how I would think about it, because you have a feed, you have your followers, and you know, it's starting to grow. Some people are getting on it. I recommend you go support them at pilled.net. If you're a verified user, which you have to reach out to them, you could stream directly to the platform. So I recommend you look into it. It offers a combination of multiple social networks into one. You know, there's upvotes and downvotes, red pill, blue pill. And then the next one is the Donald.win. If you're not on the Donald.win, I recommend you look into getting on it. It's basically a Reddit clone dedicated to Donald Trump. There's a lot of conservative ideas and discussion on here. You should get involved, find out what's going on with it, and, you know, try to get away from these big tech platforms that are just trying to silence us and demoralize us. Find a platform where you could speak truth. Moving on to more of a video platform, less of a social media platforms. We have Torah 3, also hosted by Jim. Let's check this out over here. This is the Tiger Network. I recommend you guys all sign up on it. ABCU8 is on there. You can find us at ABCU_8. Babyfist is also on there. Myself, I usually just do the content here for ABCU, But if you want to see some things I may have done or done not under the ABCU brand, feel free to check me out as well. This is a non-censorship platform. No porn allowed, by the way, so that will be censored because it is against their terms of service to upload porn. But all free speech is respected on this platform. I recommend you look into it. There's a lot of great users. The owners of this site are really trying to bring it up to speed to compete with these big tech platforms that have unlimited money, try to support these smaller businesses and these people trying to give us alternatives to these big tech platforms. Moving on to DLive. This is a blockchain-based streaming platform for live content. If you haven't been on DLive, go make an account. It'll be very important in the future when we are all finally off YouTube and no longer allowed on it. There is BitChute. It is okay. It's not my favorite. I actually really don't like it, but it is an option for those seeking to find a replacement for YouTube, who have been silenced or pushed out. Odyssey seems to be experiencing issues today. I recommend that you guys keep checking it out. All these links are down in the description below if you have any questions regarding what we looked at today. Next thing is browsers. This is going to be an important thing in the near future as well. They are trying their hardest to keep us in their ecosystems via browsers such as Chrome and even Mozilla is moving away from their open source model to do more closed source activities and get more information on users. And I'm not going to go into operating systems and tell all of you to get off Windows and get on Linux, but really look into that Richard Stallman and the GNU to fully understand. This Brave browser is also very functional for those people who aren't familiar with the Tor and the Onion network, which seems to be becoming more relevant considering they're censoring things like 8kun.top. You can come here, it's just brave.com, download the browser. You earn cryptocurrency while browsing. You don't have to give them any personal information. You don't have to sign up or sign in, and you could still earn these currencies. So moving on, there's also the Tor browser, which is the Onion router, I think is what Tor stands for. And it offers you entry nodes and exit nodes so that it masks your actual location and your personal information via the Tor network. I recommend, if you don't know about it, learn about it, fully understand it. Tor doesn't protect you. You have to protect yourself when you use Tor. Keep that in mind. Don't be doing dumb things on Tor that you shouldn't be doing anyways. And then moving on from Tor, you could find that at torproject.org. There's also other browsers like Surf, made by suckless.org. I don't know much about it. I don't use it myself. I typically use Brave, but I recommend that everyone start getting out of these ecosystems, or you're going to lose a lot of the content you have. I've got a lot of content in Google Drives, and if they were to take down all my account, all that would be lost. Archive offline, that's a big thing they say a lot, but it's true. So look into other alternatives. Respect your own privacy. No one else will if you don't. And that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. We're at about 30 minutes in. Any questions, comments, concerns before I wrap it up, guys? I wanted this to be short and sweet so that you could share it with others. If there's no other questions, that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. And just remember, the division is fake. They want you divided. You're easier to control when you're divided. So without, I don't like Telegram. They want your telephone number, so I wouldn't recommend you use Telegram. I recommend that anyone who cares about their anonymity and privacy to not use Telegram. That's a personal opinion. I'm not saying the program isn't safe or anything like that. There have been some recent exploits regarding Telegram. I would say Signal is probably a little bit better than Telegram because you don't need to provide them a phone number unless they updated it since I used it last. But I recommend you guys get on Jammy. That was that first one we looked at over here. Jammy, JAMI.net. It respects the GNU. That's the most important thing about it. And it's distributed, which means it's only peer-to-peer. Only the people connected share that data. So if I'm talking to Aspen or Mina and Uncle Bones, no one else gets that information. And it works like Zoom. You could have video calls, you could have chat calls, you could screen share, you could record your screen, So it offers all the features you expect and respects your privacy. So look into it if you haven't. It's really easy to use. There's a desktop app for all platforms. I'm looking at mine right now. It's really easy. If you guys want to test it out, you could message me. Just search ABCU in your Jammy application. Send me a message. I'll test it out with you. No problem. The name is ABCU. Go ahead and look for it. It is you could have it on your smartphone. I have it on an Android device. I have it on an iOS device. I have it on another Android device. I have it on a Windows computer. I have it on a Linux computer. So it seems to work for all platforms pretty ubiquitously. It is a little more confusing for a newer user trying to import accounts or connect your devices. With a quick Google search or a quick DuckDuckGo search, or Bing search, whatever you prefer, you'll be able to find out how to connect it to any device you want. That way you could have one account. I personally have a couple different accounts on my different devices rather than having one account. If I wanted to, I could add those devices to the other account as well. It works seamlessly. So I recommend, Jammy to everyone. Like I said, if anyone's trying to test it out and you download Jammy and you're like, I have no friends to figure out what this is, message me, ABCU. Real easy, all lowercase, you can find it. Made it really easy for you guys to find. That way, the main barrier to entry is getting people to start. So start today, figure it out slowly. It's a learning curve, just like with everything. When Twitter first came out, it wasn't the jam. I recommend Mastodon for people replacing Twitter. I'm going to play this video while you guys ask questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Let's make sure it's all coming through good for you. Yeah, it looks like it is. My desktop audio's up. I'm going to mute my...
What is Mastodon? Mastodon is an open source social network. Similar to Twitter or Tumblr, users can make profiles, post messages, images, or videos, and of course follow other users. Messages follow a 500 character limit and are displayed in a chronological order. Unlike other platforms, however, Mastodon is decentralized, meaning that there is no one server, company, or person running it. While other social media platforms are owned and operated by a single corporation who has full control over everything, anyone can create and run their own server of Mastodon. How does this work? When someone creates their own version of Mastodon, this is called an instance. Since Mastodon is open source, anyone can create their own instance of Mastodon with their own set of rules. Because of this, all instances are owned, operated, and moderated by the community that creates them, and not some large corporation which tracks your data to sell to advertisers. In most cases, Mastodon instances are crowdfunded, not financed. But how do these instances communicate with one another? While users within an instance can, of course, follow each other, they can also decide to follow users within other instances. So while each instance of Mastodon is privately operated, their users can still communicate with members from other servers seamlessly. Of course, communities who want to remain private don't have to communicate with other servers. This is in the hands of its users. Mastodon also offers effective anti-abuse tools to help moderate instances as users see fit. Ultimately, Mastodon is a social network which puts the user first. Unlike traditional social media, Mastodon can't go bankrupt, it can't be sold, and it can't be completely blocked by governments. Users are free to join whichever community they want and communicate with whomever they want. With over 1 million registered users across multiple different languages, Mastodon is growing fast. Not sure which instance to join? Click the link below to find one that's right for you.
I hope that gives you a little perspective into, what I'm talking about regarding decentralization, taking the control out of big tech's hands and putting it back into we the people. Like I said, read about Richard Stallman, guys. Read, The Road to Tycho.
Yeah.
Read The Road to Tycho by Richard Stallman, everyone. That's the future we're trying to prevent. It's up to me and you. Period. So, till next time, guys, this is ABCU, this is Baby Fist, this is George Orwell, fake names, real news. Till next time, be good all.